Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to 15-Minute Finance. Today we're going to be talking about Planet 13 and a recent video that actually came out on a channel called Financial Education. I'll include a link below, but the guy who runs the channel, Jeremy, I think he does an amazing job. It's actually the channel that I started watching that really got me into the stock market, so definitely recommend you guys subscribe to him, follow him. Definitely check out his videos because they're extremely helpful. But recently, he went to the Planet 13 store in Santa Ana, which is incredibly helpful as someone who's a Planet 13 investor, but I live out on the East Coast, so I have no idea what the store is doing and what it's like. And in his video, he actually shows that, unfortunately, he went on a Saturday or Friday around 8 o'clock, typically when stores like that would be very busy, and there was basically no one in the store, right? He said there were about 3 to 5 other customers. The parking lot was totally empty. They were also saying that the area around the store was not the greatest area. There's not a lot of attractions that would bring people to that area naturally. I know it's close to Disneyland, but the people and the clientele who are going to Disneyland, which is usually, families on vacation, big groups of people who are looking for that, kind of happy childlike experience, they're typically not the clientele that also go to Planet 13 on the side, right? So I understand they wanted to be in an area that is, popular with tourists, but I think they kind of chose the wrong demographic of tourists that might be visiting that area. So it's a little concerning, but I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on, his video, his walkthrough of the store, and kind of what I think now about the dip that we're seeing. So first and foremost, we saw this stock drop from it was hitting levels of $6, $7, low sevens, and now it's actually trading in the low fives, and it almost hit under $5 a share just earlier this week. So definitely not a good thing if you're holding the stock right now, but honestly, I do view this as a buying opportunity. The fact that the Santa Ana store is not doing very well isn't a huge concern to me because the fundamentals of the business have not changed, right? They still have a proven location in Las Vegas, and they still have an extremely strong balance sheet. They've already said in their investor presentation that they do want to open more stores across the United States, and they also are thinking about looking into smaller community stores. So what they're doing in the future could actually be more of kind of like you have your superstores here in about 8 to 10 different big cities, and then you also have these smaller, more retail size stores. So I'm really not too concerned about the fact that the Santa Ana store isn't immediately just hitting home runs, because that's pretty hard to do. In terms of the negative implications of the Santa Ana store not doing immediately well, it's something we have to continue to watch. And you want to look at sales figures from that store just to kind of see what they're doing. And quarter over quarter, you need to make sure that they're continuously moving up, right? So the main business idea of Planet 13 is these superstores. So if the superstore model doesn't work and they aren't able to replicate it in Santa Ana, then it's kind of going to be looked at as a failure, and the stock price is probably going to drop and drop and drop. So it will take probably about a year or two for the Santa Ana store to put up the numbers that it eventually will in the future, and I think they're going to be very good numbers. But just continue to watch the quarter over quarter numbers of that store and the sales that you're seeing, because if it's not trending up for 2 or 3 quarters in a row, then you might have to start looking at if the company is pivoting or what they're saying in their earnings calls and earnings presentations, if they're kind of pivoting their model and looking for more opportunities. Because if that superstore model doesn't work and they don't get away from the superstore model, then we could be looking at a failed investment, which is never a good thing, and it's not something I want. And personally, it's not something I think it's going to happen with Planet 13. That's kind of why I think this is a buying opportunity, but it is definitely just something to be aware of. With this company so far, we've been really lucky, if you're an investor as well, that it's been pretty much all sunshine and rainbows so far, right? They increased their cash position over COVID. They opened a new store over COVID. The numbers are just off the charts, essentially. So it's been all good news. So don't let this one piece of bad news just make you sell out, right? So keep up with the stock, keep up with those sales, and just remember that the underlying fundamentals of this business have not changed. So Don't panic sell. If anything, if you're really confident and have a little bit of a higher risk tolerance, then use this as a buying opportunity. You know, buy the dip and put into it. And honestly, I do think that in the future, this could be a $30 to $40 stock. So thanks for tuning into the video. It was just a short one, but I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention, especially if you're an investor and you're like me, you're on the East Coast or out of that market and you don't really have any insight into the Santa Ana store. Please check out the video from Financial Education. It's a great video, very insightful, very helpful. Check out the channel as well since I mentioned it. If you liked the video and enjoyed it, then please subscribe, look at some other videos on the channel. I put them up just about every week, so stay tuned for our next video.